What's up, y'all? Today we got a story time about somebody who get back didn't go quite right, and some thoughts on open relationships. Let's get into it.
Yo, this is the story time y'all all been waiting for. Okay, so this story time, I'm going to be telling y'all how my ex had smashed my sister trying to get revenge on me and ended up catching the STD. So basically, right, my ex-boyfriend had broke up with me for no reason at all, right? And then when he came back, he was like, give me another chance. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. I was just like, I don't want to be with you anymore. Like, I found my self-worth. I just don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be with you. And then he was like, bet, you're going to regret that. You're going to regret that. Watch, watch. And I'm like, okay.
It always, well, most of the time when people be like, "You gonna regret that," it usually be them that end up regretting it. Crazy.
So then we was on and he called me. He FaceTimed me. And I was like, what's up? He was like, I'm about to send you something. I'm about to send you something. I was like, all right. He sent me a video of him smashing my sister with no condom. So I was like, what did you just send me? And then he was like, yeah, I smashed his sister. I smashed his sister and I enjoyed every second of it. And I started bagging up on the phone. Like, when I tell you, I was laughing so hard. And he was like, what's funny? Why are you laughing? Why aren't you mad? Like, what's funny? What's really funny? Like, I don't understand what you're laughing.
Because at the end of the day, like, why did you feel the need to call and say that? Like, I don't know. Like, when you go out of your way to get under somebody's skin, like, I be so happy when that type of stuff backfires for real.
I don't catch the joke. And I'm like, oh, I catch the joke, all right. He was like, yeah. Anyways, like I said, I enjoyed every second of it. I said, you're going to enjoy Bernie too, because listen. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, so I see in this video you don't have nothing on, like protection. So like, did she initiate that you guys should go raw? And then he was like, yup, sure did. And it felt real good. And I'm like, yeah. And you know what else is about to feel good? You burning. Yeah. So I was like, she didn't tell y'all before y'all did what she did, that she had something. She didn't disclose that information before suggesting herself that you guys should do something without a condom. He was like, huh? She ain't got nothing. She would have told me. She would have told me. She would have told me. And I'm like, and deeper in the back of my mind, it's kind of like, I think she knew what she was doing, but at the same time, why would you feel comfortable doing something with my boyfriend? Mind you, I don't like my sister at all. We haven't talked in a long time, but it's kind of like, she kind of knew. It's kind of like she was on my side, but she wasn't on my side. At the same time, you get what I'm saying? So he's like, if I got something, I swear I'm coming after both of y'all, both of y'all. I'm like, I didn't tell you to do what you did. You did that. He was like, I'm going to take her to
Right.
court and yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, that's between y'all. I really don't care. I could care less. So then he got mad. He hung up. Then his results came back that he had it or whatever. And he was just real mad and salty. My thing is, I don't understand why you were trying to be petty. You ended up hurting yourself at the end of the day. You look stupid. You look like a goofy. And, it's just kind of like, I laughed more than I felt hurt, honestly. Like, it was just like, you played yourself. You really did, so.
I remember this time I was begging my girl to sleep.
All right. So yeah, man. His get back didn't go quite as planned, but I mean, that's what happens when you do things out of spite and revenge. Like, I mean, we don't know, you know what I'm saying, what the reason was why they broke up or whatever the case may be, but like, why, if you broke up with her, why would you feel like it would be get back anyway by going and sleeping with her sister? And I mean, she said her sister and her not that cool, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess it was a situation of having guardian angels or whatever, like for people that are intentionally seeking revenge. But let's go ahead and get into this next one.
With other men, because basically she told me, she's like, look, I understand that you're sleeping with other
Hold on,
people,
let's
you want to be
rewind
involved with
that.
other people.
So mad and salty. My thing is, I laughed more than I felt hurt, honestly. Like,
Give me that much power. Like, why would you say that? Like, I've never seen someone lose the social upper hand.
All right, it's not. Let me see if I can catch the beginning of this. Okay, there we go.
I laughed more than I felt hurt, honestly. Like, it was just like, you played yourself. You really did, so.
I remember this time I was begging my girl to sleep with other men, because basically she told me, she's like, look, I understand that you're sleeping
Begging
with
your
other people, you
girlfriend
want
is
to be involved
crazy.
with other people, but like, I just want you, I'm not going to see anybody else. And when she said that to me, I'm like, why would you give me that much power? Like, why would you say that? Like, I've never seen someone lose the social upper hand like so proudly. Literally, the thing that always keeps me on my toes in a situationship is like, oh, they might be doing what I'm doing, but she literally told me she was not doing what I was doing. I swear to God, she was just giving me too much power. And at the time I was like, what? I can't wield this. What am I supposed to do? I was talking to her, I was like, yo, like, please sleep with other.
And I think I've heard that. I've heard that from a couple males. Like females do give them too much power, um, especially in, like he said, situationships. Like It's not that serious, man. I mean, like it is for some people, but I mean, I guess, as you like go through things, like you realize it's really not that serious. And men and women do oftentimes give another person too much power over them. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue.
Men. Like I don't want to feel like we're unfair. Like I don't want to feel like we're uneven like this. And she's like, no, I'm not going to. And I was like, please, like literally, I'm getting on my knees. I remember we're at this museum, okay? And I was like, yo, like I wasn't on my knees.
At the
I was like, yo,
museum
like
is
please, I'm
wild.
begging, please sleep with other people. And Loki making a scene. The other people in the museum are looking at me like, yo, like what's this guy on? And it's like that's how serious I was about wanting her to sleep with other men. She's just like, no, I'm not going to. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? That's just how into me she was, I guess. And it's like I get it. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
You also got to be careful with them type of situations. To be honest with you, I've had to tell some men because the open relationship thing, it seems like something that everybody wants to do, whatever, whatever. But a lot of people can't be honest, for one, and that's what ultimately starts to mess things up. But a lot of men also, whether it's a situationship or whether it's a committed relationship or whatever, a lot of men be thinking that, the women that they tell, well, some of the women that they tell that they want an open relationship, like just because they stick around don't mean that they cool with it. And 9 times out of 10, they're doing their own thing on the side, but for whatever reason, you're like their favorite person. So they don't want you to know that they're doing, what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. But yeah, yeah.
it's like, I mean, I'm like, stand up a bit. It gets to a point where I accept it. I'm like, okay, I guess this is my life. And the reason I bring this up is because people are talking to me about my most recent ex who thought I cheated on her, but I didn't. They're like, oh, like, why don't you just get into an open relationship to avoid all the complications? This was a situation where I got into an open relationship. So this is a different girl. This is back when the roster was like super active. But basically, what happened was is one day she came up to me. She's like, yo, I really want like the title of your girlfriend because I want to feel like I have something over the rest of the roster. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm
Mm,
just one of them. I want to feel like I'm something better. She's like, you can do whatever you want. It can be an open relationship, like just you, like doing whatever you want. But I'm going to be committed to you. I'm going to stay like with you. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't really change anything for me. So, okay. She was really into that for a bit, right? Because she got to tell her friends that I was her boyfriend, that like she was my girlfriend. It was very fun for her. Me, I was free willy out there, okay? I'm just throwing it around, doing what I need to do. And also the problem with this is like once I got a taste of the fact that like she wasn't sleeping with other men, I kind of was like, yeah, I kind of don't want her to sleep with other men anymore. Then as it goes on, she starts trying to add stipulations. She's like, oh, you can't post a girl on your TikTok or I'm gonna consider that cheating. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I don't really post women on TikTok anyway, so it's like, whatever, okay, fine. At the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, you can't tell me what to do. Like, this is an like, you literally, like, she was the one who came to me with the open relationship idea, and we agreed to those terms, okay? That was what was on the contract. It was like, you can tell me that you don't want me to do these things, but I don't have to listen to you. And also, I can lie to you about it, okay? Like, lying is, like, one of my favorite options for anything ever. Then it gets
that's
further, okay? She's
terrible.
like, oh, like, I don't want you talking to this specific young lady, because I think she saw, like, the young lady's name and then, like, did some, like, research, found out who the young lady was, saw that she was, like, attractive, and she was like, oh, like, I don't want you talking to her. And in my mind, I'm like, no. And she's trying to tell me she wanted our relationship to be like Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, where it's like, yeah, we're in an open relationship, but like there are rules. And in my mind, I'm like, that's a horrible example because like literally Jada broke the rules. That's why they're what they are now. I'm kind of the Jada Pinkett Smith of the situation. I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to you. She would really get on my head about it, right? She's like, oh, I can't believe you're choosing her over me. And I'm like, bro, I'm not choosing anything. Like literally, I'm just like saying no. I'm refusing to choose. I'm very pro-choice when it comes to other people, but for me, I am anti-choice. I don't want to make any decisions ever. She kept trying to get me to block that other young lady, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But then one point she says, oh, just say you'll block her. And when she said just say you'll block her, I thought she meant like just say it and I didn't have to do it. So I just said it, okay? And that was not at all what she meant. And I should have been able to tell by how excited she got when I said that I would block her. And then she says something like, okay, if I find out you're talking to her again, I'm going to consider it cheating. And it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, like you said that, but like, no, I'm like, that's not the kind of relationship I agreed to. But like, I'm letting her have it. I'm letting her think it in her head. Like, I don't want to invalidate what she's saying to me by
Mm-mm.
acknowledging the fact that like I don't validate it. But then she found out I was still talking to that girl, and then so many things popped off. I got a long form content video about like how that happened, how that played out. But my point is, it's like open relationships, are they a thing in theory? Yeah, but it's like some people, they're not really in it, they're not really about it. It's like, yeah, like she was the one who brought the open relationship to the table, but she didn't have the stomach for it. She simply couldn't handle it when it came down to it. And it's like, do I blame her? Again, no. But it's like at the same time, it's like I can't deal with that. So it looks like for me personally, my swag is, situationships, breadcrumbing, stringing someone along, making them think things are going to become more when they're not going to become more. I think that's my swag. And I think that's honestly the most ethical way I can do things because everything else just seems way too hectic, way too complicated. Like I don't want
Oops. Yeah, no. First of all, to beg somebody to sleep with somebody else is crazy. Actually, no. I mean, it is crazy. I actually did that with an ex before. It was my ex-husband though, because I was just over it. Like, after I lose respect for you, like there's no I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. But yeah, open relationships are not for everybody because the concept of it, people think it's just this, let's say we have an open relationship and you know what I'm saying, leave it at that. You could do what you want, I could do what I want, blah blah blah. Like no, it actually takes maturity, it actually takes conversation, and like he said, like you have to discuss you know what I'm saying, what does this contract entail between us? Like what does it mean for you? What does it mean for me? Like it actually is a business negotiation of sorts. And so you do have to have a meeting of the minds and come to agreements. I mean, both parties are there, you're going to have to compromise regardless of whatever type of relationship you're in, but open relationships are a little bit more complicated than what people initially think because they're not just about being physically intimate with other people. Like it's a lot that goes into it, and again, a lot of people can't handle it. But that's all for today, y'all. I will catch y'all in the next one. Thank you for tuning in.